Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to CCG Esports. We are here with another ESEA Season 52 NA Advanced um, game. Today, it's going to be between Yippeee versus CCG Esports. CCG have not had a great run, especially after the previous loss. It is very upsetting with Granny's Knockers. At least that game should have been won. But we are back with another day, another game. Maybe they were having some technical problems. Maybe we were just having a bad day that time, but it doesn't matter. Inflict, we're back again today for another game. How do you feel today about this one?
I'm not entirely sure right now because Yippeee seemingly on paper are a decent team currently. Their stats are looking 5-5. They have 5 wins, 5 losses. The map that we're playing today, that's gonna be ancient actually, and Yippeee have played that game six. They've lost this game 6 times across the last 2 months. So it has not been a great map for them. They're yet to win it out a single time in their recent times. But one more thing that's got me questioning today's game right now is the fact that Yippee seemingly only have 4 players in the lobby while the knife round is going on. So we're gonna have to wait and see what that is about. But seem for the time being, Yippee is just running around trying to perhaps waste time waiting for their fifth to get here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but hopefully that gets sorted. But if they're gonna have to play with 4 players, then that automatically puts CCG at a massively advantageous position.
Yeah, definitely that will do, but that's something that we wouldn't like. We always want fair game here in CCG because win or lose doesn't matter because you got to have one part of the coin in the end of the day, but we would rather have that full fair pledge gameplay and then test out our full strength to see whether we're good enough or not, because that's in the end of the day our goal, to be improving each day. Because even if we lose at the end of the day, that's something we gotta learn from those games. Now, Ancient being one of the maps that CCG has played quite a lot in the previous season and has played a decent amount of time this season as well. I mean, they've tried some other maps like Nuke, Inferno. We've went to one game on Dust 2, but I feel like Ancient is some map somewhere where they feel very comfortable around and on. So I feel like this is going to be a wonderful game, and especially since you mentioned that it's a map that Yippeee, despite being a standard average team where they have equal amount of wins and losses this season, especially on ESEA, their stats on Ancients are not that good. So I hope CCG, all that practice that they put on Ancient, should be able to pull it off here and then just get a slight bit of advantage of just playing it a little bit more in the in the past recent few days, and possibly get a win on this one. I think the fifth player is connected.
Yes, Lect has just joined in the game with us, so the game hopefully should be starting soon. The tech pause it's still up there, but it'll go out at any moment. And again, as you said, CCG, they're a tad bit more comfortable on this map compared to the maps that we've seen them play over the course of the last 2 weeks. They've been experimenting out different maps. Some of them worked in their favor, some of them didn't, some of them were extremely close. But it certainly has been a much more entertaining run, a much more better run to witness than what we had in the last season. So CCG, they certainly improved upon quite a few things. Unfortunately, they just still are struggling to close out quite a few of their games, and hence the stat line. It's not looking too pretty right now either. Hopefully they can pad it up a little bit. They still have, this is going to be their third last game of the season. They're currently sitting I believe 4-7. So they still have quite a lot of work to put in, and playoffs is at stake right now. They need to win out every single game and with as good a round differential as they possibly can.
Yeah, it's gonna be very tough in the end, but it is something that we're gonna still keep hopes on and try. A good, beautiful round start for the CCG side. They get a double, but they lose one at the end. Jacob finds that kill, but Kraken coming in from behind, Crack coming in strong here. He's gonna be able to find a few bullets perhaps, but not the very lethal ones at that. They come in all from behind. Kraken calling, finding second, and that's Lect, the last one alive. Lect with a dual Beretta. He does have the firepower. He's gonna try his best, but Colin, he sits on his own dual Beretta, so does Strihan, and Jenny's gonna be able to finish him off with an USP. Don't need firepower for that last one. CCG is gonna be able to start this one strong with winning the pistol round in their board. Now, winning the pistol round on CT side always puts you up in a really good position because you don't want to lose pistol when you're playing on a CT in any map in any situation if it's anywhere near CS2 right now of the current game standards.
Yeah, the economical state is not really good. So if you go broke while you're on the CT side and you don't have the loss bonus built up, well, you're facing some bad news. You're likely gonna have to eco for 2 rounds, and that's 2 rounds given away for free. So winning the pistol round, it can be extremely crucial. CCG they did so, but Yippeee are still gonna be able to force their way into this round. They have 4 SMGs across the board and one Galil bought up by Jacob. Not a lot of util to work with, but they're trying to make their way across through sheer power. And the Galil has already been taken out by Kraken. He's isolated a few more players out, but Trian is going to be the one that finds 2 more frags, and that's going to be one more for Jenny. The last one alive is going to be there with the Mark 10, whose location is pretty known as well, tagged down to 25 HP. He's trying to hunt down the player who he knows for a fact went long A, but can't clear him out. The bomb dropped over towards middle as well. That certainly is not going to make this fight any bit easier. It's a 1 versus 3 already, and he's weakened up. No nades to help him either. Only a matter of time before he eventually falls because this round it's looking done and dusted. The CCG are off to a good start.
CCG, they're off to a great start so far. A really good gunfight round, it felt like from their end. Kepan, he gives away his position and he's going to be taken out by Colin from the corner. Good positioning to defend the bomb and a good call by Kraken to back out from the A mains there, not giving away any extra kills than necessary. That means they get to save another weapon, and that's a FAMAS, and a very important one at that. So that's going to be the second round in board. Now, I mean, they got the C4 plant on the first pistol round, so they were able to get some extra compensation for that, which had allowed them to force buy on the second round. And after losing that one, now they're gonna go for a quick timeout as well to try and sort things out, which means they don't have enough money to actually force buy in this round. I mean, they can, but wouldn't be a wise decision. So it's gonna be a full eco round perhaps from the side of Yippeee here to begin this round. They're gonna go with few Tech Nines, perhaps few utilities to try and do as much as damage as they can with the pistol, but that's about it. So CCG, they have to play this one safe like usual, just win the gunfights because it's not even a gunfight at this point. It's like a pistol versus weapons. They have huge advantage. They should be utilizing that and taking a third round, increasing the lead as much as they can while they're still on the CT side. And then when they shift on the T side in the second half, if they have like 8 or 9 rounds lead, that should be a good position for them.
Hopefully they can get there, but we're gonna have to wait and see. For the time being, though, this round should be easy for CCG. Not a lot to deal with. 3 Tech 9s, a couple of one P250, one Glock, one flash in the hands of Joga, but the rest of the squad, practically nothing to work with, and all of them all are falling one by one like dominoes. The only player alive is going to be the one with the Glock, and he too shall fall by the hands of Fearless Beetle. A flawless round to put the third on board for CCG, and now finally the rifles are going to come swinging out for Yippeee.
Yeah. Now the actual game of CS2 begins. We were just playing the warm ups. So it is gonna be CCG going up against full weapons. They still hold two or three weapons actually from the earlier phase, which is two FAMAS and one SMG, but it doesn't matter. They're on the CT side. As long as they're on the CT side, these weapons can be very lethal. They're going super aggressive down the mid to try and take the map control and the mid control, which is gonna have them lose one of their members, Fearless Beetle. Not proper use of utilities, and they didn't peek together. So Fearless Beetle will just go down without any proper answer from CCG. They're still trying to hold down the mid angle, and Boba looks like he's gonna have a TK there. So he does the job for CCG, but in the end, CCG, they weren't able to get any good trades, win any gunfights. That means they're gonna lose every single member, and that is, you can call it a flawless round from Yippeee there, because I mean CCG weren't able to find anything. I mean the only kill that they have on the board is not even from CCG. It's a team kill.
Yeah, that certainly is unfortunate. But Yippee, as long as they don't lose any more pairs, they should be fine. The money should not be too much of a problem either. But unfortunately for CCG, though, it might just turn out to be not for the next round. But if they lose that, then we are gonna be facing off the certain situation which we were talking about, where if you are broke quite on the CT side and with no loss bonuses stacked up, then it can really start to hurt your game quite early on. And that's just the way CS2 is being played right now. Jenny successful in finding two frags on the way out, but the round can still not be won. He did get a rifle upgrade, so I'm gonna hold on to that AK. But the first round finally goes the way of Yippee.
So it does. 3-4. CCG still has a decent advantage. They have money to afford in this round, which means they're gonna be going with full buys rather than having those half buys or starter pack weapons from the early on. Freehand's gonna take a quick peek with the op that he picked up. He's not gonna be able to connect the shot. He's gonna go down. Jacob picks up the kill. Jacob gets the second one. These gunfights are really, really important. After you lose Freehand, you should be able to pick up a trade kill, but they didn't. Jenny's gonna be able to win the fight on his own. That's one down. Jacob picked up the op from the ground. Did damage with that. Fearless Beetle is gonna be taken out with that. Colin coming in from behind. This could be a huge flank, but never mind. They are aware of him being there, and Lex finds the last one. Jenny is the only one who's going to be finding a double there. But that dual combination going down altogether, Freehand and Kraken, that shouldn't have happened. After the op goes down, the rifler should be able to close it out from behind, but they were on a lineup. It was a pretty easy one for Jacob to close out, and that is going to be the second round given away for Yippeee with bad monetary conditions on the side of CCG right now, which is going to continue to grow if they cannot find these frags and if they cannot win these rounds.
Yeah, Yippee, they conceded 3 rounds to begin with. That was when they didn't have a proper arsenal on their side, but they've come back quite quickly as well. I mean, we are still very early into the game, and CCG, they do not have any weaponry to work with, so they're sort of in a similar situation themselves right now. With two players having already gone down, Treehan does get a kill onto Terry, traded out, but the damage was already dealt there. Three players remaining for CCG, and all of them are over towards the B side. The bomb planted at A. Gonna be absolutely no problem for the side of Yippee to hold this down. While CCG, they are sending two players close by to investigate possibly, but the round's pretty much done, and that's the Yippee are gonna close out the gap, make this a 3-3 score line. And CCG, they are just gonna hold on to the pistols. They were looking for some exit frags, but none came their way. So they're gonna be left stranded with nothing.
Yeah.
by coming in for them. 4 and 4s across the board in FMS. CCG, if they lose this, they're going to be once again back on the road with nothing to purchase in the next one. So this is sort of the how the finances are working for the CG side now. You win, you lose a round, you have to concede one or two at the very least every single time you're on the CG side. But so far, it's not a great start. It's a terrible start, actually. Three players having already gone down. The trade does come through for 3, and he actually gets three all on his own, and no help needed for him whatsoever. Eventually, he does get traded out. That's going to leave Kraken in a 1 versus 2. But this round should not have been this close. And Yippeee, they were steamrolling through CCG up until they hit a stone wall called Treehan. Or, well, a wooden wall. But nothing Kraken was able to do as well. Nice attempt from Trahan to hold down the side. Had he not tried to pick up the rifle, maybe he gets the kill onto Jacob, and the round turns out differently. But unfortunately for him, he did make that mistake, and the rest of his squad were not able to find a single frag collectively. Hence, Yippee, they get a hold of the lead in the game.
So that it seems, and with that said, I mean CCG they lose their early lead that they had from pistol round, which means they're gonna have to go for another eco here. Might be another round given away to the opponents here, but it won't be that lethal. If they can find a few frags on this pistol round, secure the weapons from them, this could be massive. This could be mean that without any spending anything, they're gonna be able to get something out of this round, which is always good. And in an eco rounds, I feel like eco rounds are could be one of the best rounds for counter terrorist side because they can just kill the opponents, take their weapon, and if they somehow manage to make a win on that round, then that's a free round that they're getting, the round that they're not supposed to get. I mean, with the least investment, at least. Right now, 1 minute remaining, so they have to make a choice, and looks like it's gonna be the A site where they want to head head to. We do have a bit of a disconnection on the stream. We're gonna get reconnected real soon, so don't worry. It's just a server bug that happens every now and then. But
Yeah, in the
yeah,
meanwhile, though, CCG, they continue to fall actually on the server. It's not looking good for them. Three players have already gone down. The last two are eventually going to fall as well. The Pistols, they weren't able to find anything whatsoever. A flawless fifth round victory for the side of VP and CCG. They now have money averaging over 5k. So an op is going to get brought out by Treehan. The rest of them are going to have access to M4s all across the board. So this is as good a chance as it could be for CCG to mount a comeback into this into this game because right now they've conceded 5 rounds in a row, and that's just not a good start. I mean, they were playing strong, they were consistent. They You had one out, almost a flawless round as well to begin with, but as soon as the rifles were brought out for Yippee, it has been absolutely downhill. And if this trajectory goes on like this linearly, then the advantage that TP have by the end of the first half could be drastic, and we certainly are not looking forward to that.
yeah, definitely. This one begins. CCG finally able to afford weapons. They're gonna try their best to hold it out. Treehan has an op, and he has the angle. He's gonna be able to react quickly and take out one right here. Booba goes down. That is gonna be the first one found. They lose their opper very early to the round. That is gonna be some good news at least for CCG to start this round off strong. But the others are slightly headed towards that B side. It's guarded by two members, Fearless Beetle and Colin. They're both at the same place, which I don't ideally like. You should be covering different spots. I mean, the connector is completely left open, but good news is nobody's trying to head towards the connector, which means they're gonna send a few utilities away towards the way. Colin's gonna be able to find first, finds the second one as well, and Fearless Beetle's not gonna be expected in that corner. He finally gets taken out, but he does inflict more than enough damage. Takes out one for himself, and that will be an easy job for Jenny to finish off, and that's gonna be the fourth round for CCG on board, and they get something at least out of that round, which does help them to stay alive in the economy standards of the game.
Yeah, they're still gonna have a full arsenal to work with, all loaded up with util as well. But the economy on the side of Yippeee, it's still looking good. It's still looking strong. Should hold them over by possibly towards to the end of the half as well, but maybe not. CCG, they're forced to rotate over towards the A side. A lot of util was spent to distract them over, while Yippeee are preparing to send their envoy towards the B side. Jenny gets a frag. It's gonna be two fallen for Yippeee already. And the bomb is making its way over towards the site as well. Colin is there to investigate, but unfortunately, he's gonna go down in the process. Gonna leave three behind for either side. Bomb planted. CCG, they're gonna have to make their way back in both of the sides, still holding on to a good chunk of fuel to work with. Three smokes on board for CCG, but they're gonna have to get through this initial chokehold. A good nade lands onto two. But Jenny is going to be the one that draws first blood in this post plan. Freehand still keeping them occupied towards the back lines. Unfortunately, not for long. The trades do go down, and then Kraken is the one that comes out on top. He has a defuse kit to work with as well, and the defuse should come through. CCG tie up the scoreline once again.
Yeah, that was almost a disastrous round for CCG because they knew that the enemies were at the A, at least that got the sound cue from all the utilities and stuff. They got distracted. They forced out four members out there. That is something a very quick response, which is something nice. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. That was just a distraction. After getting distracted, they managed to get two frags, which is even better. And now in a 4v3 situation, Jenny goes forward, gets a lot of information down the mid, finds the second frag over there as well, and knowing nobody is around that area, they should have moved another member towards that B side, or at least Colin should be more prepared, not holding his knife or a utility in hand to wait for the enemy, which almost turned into a disaster. They gave away the plant, and playing in after plant situation is never good if the opponents. It can go either way. Kraken almost died there, but he managed to clutch it out with only 20 HP there. So it almost got really close when it shouldn't have been for CCG. So a better map read would have been better. And this time they go in forward to try and get few frags. Fearless Bill is going to be able to start this one out with a double. They lose one member though, and that's going to be Jenny. But still, it's a good trade. 1 for 2. I'll take that any day. But still, they come in. Terry is going to be able to get one. Terry gets another one. That's double there for him. So the nice trade I was talking about no longer stands. It's a nicer trade for their opponent's Yippeee right now, and now it's gonna be a 3v2 after plan situation. The nade will do a huge chunk of damage, which Terry puts down to 15 HP right now, and Treehand is all the way towards the back, so it's gonna take quite some time for Treehand to come through, while Kraken awaits in the corner for him to make it through. But the timer is going, and it's getting louder and louder. So I believe CCG, they're gonna get back. They need weapons, these weapons, to face off against Yippeee in the last round. As mentioned, the monetary conditions are not good. But looking at the money from Fearless Beetle, Jenny, and Colin right now, they should be able to afford the least amount of weapons that round. I mean, Kraken and Treehand, they both can drop since they have saved on the previous round. So I guess it's not that bad for CCG right now, but it is the last round on the board, and if they can get this last round and equalize on the first half, then I guess on the second half things can turn for the better or for the worse.
Yeah, those are the two options for either of these teams actually, and the scoreline is looking really close right now. Kraken, he's pushed up. He's possibly found a gap. He knows where one is. The trigger discipline might just grant him two here for free. Or more, actually. What a sneak up He's gotten Jenny. Cost him his life, but he can retaliate with with ease, and he gets it. Kraken makes up for that loss. Man and Water already secured. Jacob dragged down quite a lot, and he's being forced back to the A side. 16 HP, and now he's trying to walk back, investigate where Kraken went. This he has absolutely no idea. Neither does Kraken, but Jacob has made his way back while Derry goes down. That's going to leave two players behind. Jacob isolated, both of them isolated away from each other. Timing's not going to be great for Kraken. He falls. And it's turned into a 2 versus 2. The bomb still not going to make its way onto the site, waiting on Jacob to come by to possibly play off of trades, but both of them are practically just one shot away from death. 25 seconds remaining on the clock. They need to make a move, and they cannot. The move cannot be a rotation. They have to push into the site where Treehan awaits. So they're actually going to go for a rotation, and unfortunately, Field Speed cuts them off. The bomb gets dropped as well, and he finds the final bullets onto the remaining two players, and it's going to be a tied up first half. Not something we get to see often in a CCG ESEA season.
Yeah, that does put the scoreline on equal terms. Now, this pistol round is going to determine who's taking the lead on the second half. Now, again, this time CCG on the terrorist side, which means the money's on their side. And as long as the money's on their side, if they can win the pistol round, that's going to like put them in a really really bad position. Yippeee, they might as well lose 2 or 3 more rounds, and that could be huge for CCG. So this pistol round holds a great value for them. They go inside. Kappan's gonna be able to find the first blood here before he goes down. So that's 1 for 2. That's a very very good trade for CCG as they get the C4 down immediately. They do have the smoke, stopping and wasting a little bit of more time from Yippeee to getting through to that site, which means CCG are going to be able to spend a little bit more time. But I see some dual Berettas on the hands, which is not going to be good for long range fights. Fearless Bella finds the first one, but the dual Beretta now in a close range, it does more damage. But CCG able to close it out very beautifully there, wins their pistol round on the second half, wins their seventh one on the board, and they are gonna have a good amount of lead right now with that round win.
Yeah, not a lot of kills UP were able to find, so they're not going to be able to invest into much in this round. At least most of them, but this should give CCG just the boost that they were looking for, just the walk in to the second half. It's gonna put them at a very easier start. This round should be theirs. The next likely should be theirs as well. But again, it's CS, it's competitive esports. You never know what can go down. Even this round can be lost sometimes by some teams. Certainly, CCG are not hoping for that. They do have 3 kills, so if this fight goes long range, it should realistically be pretty easy. Jennings does swat out one player, smoke them off. What he wasn't aware of was the fact that it was quite literally everybody on the side of Yippeee who are now making their way onto the B side. There is one defender there that was gonna be Colin. He gets two before going down, so that's gonna be an SMG picked up for the side of Yippeee, but none of them over towards the A side. Now, although they are making their move over, Jenny might be the first line of defense here, trying to hold down the middle of the map. Gets one, and the remaining two players that have moved away, waiting for somebody on the side of CCG to come to them to rather find an easier frag, but CCG is not going to give that one up. They have the gist of where the players are. They're going to steer clear of that, not hand them any freebies, and crack in a nice little headshot followed by a body shot to confirm the frag, leaving only one player behind. At this point, it's a round confirmed already. CCG can pick up their eighth and hold a 2 round lead to kick off the second half.
Yeah, that's the 8 one on board. But I mean, Now the weapons should come through for Yippeee, and that is gonna be again the warm-up phase and the starter phase is over. So it's gonna get into a more intensive battle of CS2 right now. A proper intensive battle with full buys. I wouldn't say full buy because Terry's still sitting on an SMG. That's all he could afford. But they do have some utilities to try and prevail to stop the rushes from coming through. CCG, they're looking towards that A site, and something that I strongly suggest them doing in the ancient map is trying to play split game here. Jacob from the corner. Nobody checked that corner. That is gonna be two important kills picked up by him. Jenny, on the other hand, finds a double to try and at least diffuse the situation a little, but won't do much here. Now, three members are inside the site, and the C4s drop in the site as well. So that fire burned through a lot from CCG. Kraken with a Mac 10 only trying to enter the site. He's not going to be given any proper entry there. They're trying to get a boost on
Oh,
top of that pillar, but they're not going to be able to get that. So ultimately, nothing working out for CCG. In Ancient, it's one of the biggest map, so the rotation from CT it takes time to come, and I feel like because it's such a big map and you have so many nooks and corners, I feel like you should play split. You shouldn't just have five man stacking up in A mains and trying to enter a site. Yeah, it's gonna work in some rounds, but for the most cases, I feel like you should just try to take map control.
map control can certainly be essential, and it is essential, and that's just not limited to big maps. It is essential in every single map in CS or any tactical FPS shooter. But unfortunately, right now, CCG they have none of it. They're going to concede the round. Their audio queue was given away, so there was not a lot to be done afterwards after they failed the boost. So the seventh round conceded. Yippeee they keep the scoreline close. Their first rifle round in the second half, and they went out with ease. Were able to keep three players alive, so gonna have a bit of an economy built up. But the two players that did die, unfortunately for them, they're gonna have to work with compromised rifles. That's gonna be from us. So across the board for them. CCG though, three AKs, a Galil, and an SMG on their side. Not as much util as they probably would have preferred, but still an upgrade to what they were working with in the last round.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a slower start this time. CCG trying to play the split game this time, getting information all across the map, which is very very much needed in ancient map here. And they just need to win a few trades. Colin down to 16 HP already. Not sure what happened to him there. I think he tried to pick a fight with Terry there. And now look at that. I mean, they played the split. They made noises everywhere on the map, which did ended up getting Yippeee to exhaust all of their utilities. They're only left out with two flashes. But CCG, they don't have many utilities themselves, but they do have a molly and a smoke, which is a lot better. If they can drop out a molly and a smoke, that's just two spots covered, and then they don't have any other option to try and defend a side out. And it looks like B side is gonna be the choice. And I like this from a flank from Colin. He's all the way behind towards that A side. Lect is gonna be able to get one. Kraken found out from the corner, so no blind spot, and that's a free kill given away. But Colin, I mean, the flank giving away all the information, but Captain, he's sitting out on the donut. He's going to be able to get one, stop the rotation from coming through. Crehan finds another one, and that's the double found. Jenny finally falls down. Sorry, that wasn't Colin. That was Jenny. I'm mix and match. I think the numbers on the map is kind of mismatched, but yeah, it's all down to Crehan. He was able to find his double, triple there, but Booba is going to be able to shut him down, and that is going to be another one on board for Yippeee there to equalize the scoreline. And CCG, despite playing such a perfect round there, they just lost two gunfights, and that'll just do the job.
Certainly, these teams are trading blows back and forth yet again. It's just both of them take the lead, the other equalizes it out eventually. It's happened the fourth time now, over the course of this map. Where CCG not in a great spot, given they're working with four Tech Nines, three Tech Nines, and two Deagles. The money though still not good. So Yippee, they're being kept in check. Except Terry, the rest of them are all pretty much broke, no reserves in the bank to work with. Chris Beetle had a shot at move there, but unfortunately the shots missed. Jenny though, not gonna do the same mistake. First blood drawn. They're looking for more. The trade does come through, but Kraken, he's keeping the man advantage in their favor. An M4 picked up in this round may just start to look a little bit dangerous as CCG. They try to move over towards the A side, and there's only one player to defend it. That's going to be Lect, and he goes down as well. It's a one-man advantage still that they hold on to. Never mind, it comes down to only one as Colin gets another frag. No rifle in the hands of CCG for the time being. They're both the players alive with Tech 9s. So one versus two, and that can never be understated. It was spotted out, sneaking up, and at close range,
Oh.
the Tech 9s can be brutal. The trade comes through. He was caught with a nade in his hand, and Colin finds the perfect timing to get the ninth on board. CC, you're going to be very happy with that win.
Yeah, that is very, very important, crucial win for CCG there, especially since they invested very least on that round. They were able to get such a great value out of that. And every time, if you win an eco round when you're on the terrorist side, it hurts CTs even more than it should have been on a normal round. Even if CCG had a flawless round, I think that wouldn't be super like bad for Yippeee as it would be right now, because that's an eco round. That's a round where at least CT side they expect to win. They have the great advantage, and if they can't win it out, the monetary condition just shifts such heavily. And as you can already see, the monetary condition is shifted heavily towards CCG side right now. Just a round ago, they were broke, they weren't able to afford, but now they can afford everything they want, and in fact have enough money left in their reserve to at least be able to afford on the next one as well. That is really, really good for CCG as they try and move forward. This is going to be a forced buy from the city side. So Yippeee, they're going to rely on a few SMGs and an op that they were able to afford. They don't have any helmets though, so any bullets on the head will just do the job. But I guess they don't need a helmet when you're playing against AKs, because this weapon is currently out of mind right now. It's super overpowered for its monetary cost. Costs only 2,700, and one bullet will just do the job compared to like M4, which costs you extra bit of like few $100 more, but it doesn't kill you with one bullet. So it's a differential that I'll take any day. But the round starts with the op picking up a first kill onto Fearless Beetle right now. So CCG already down one member out. Good start for Yippeee here. The only expensive weapon that they have on this round, that up, is gonna be able to find a value, finds a second value as well. And CCG, they're just walking into this op right now. And Jacob, from that close range, he's gonna be very lethal. They find another one, and CCG, they're just dying everywhere. No trades, no resilience, nothing. They only deal one bullet to Boba, to the op, and that's all. Nobody else was hit. Nobody, nothing. Not sure what happened.
CCG, they win an eco, and they sort of get traded right back. I mean, the purchase was not looking really good for Yippee. They were forced into purchasing, I believe, three SMGs and one op, sort of a mix and match arsenal that they had working for them. And certain, unfortunately for CCG, it worked out, and now they are back to having absolutely no weapons across the board except one AK. So somewhat better than the round that they had won earlier on, but not anymore. Three players already fallen. Kraken does return the favor, but and so does Treehan. Okay, they've put this into a two versus three. Still though, not as favorable. No weapons picked up, and MP9 is gonna get its way in the hands of Tree, and the off shot connects, and Boobin holding it off nicely. The bomb dropped over towards middle as well, and there's practically nothing to be done by Kraken here. A 1 versus 3 with a Glock 60 tag down to 63 with no bomb as well. Certainly cannot be any bit easier. Yippeee should be scoring double digits right now, and there's nothing to be done about it by Kraken.
Yeah, Kraken. He's gonna walk into the crosshair of Booba there. Booba's not interested to take that fight. Jacob finds that clean headshot onto Kraken to finish things off. That is the double digit and the 10th one on board for Yippeee there. CCG, I mean, they are playing on the terrorist side. They should be able to afford the bare minimum weapons, but I mean, the bare minimums won't do much. I mean, they had proper buy rounds that they've lost. They had proper pistol rounds that they have lost. But there were also moments where they won just with pistols against full weapons. So still hopeful, and the game's coming to a very, very closer point right now towards the end. It can go either side. Anything can happen as of right now. Both of the teams seems very evenly matched uh, as of yet, still for the time being. But this mid push could be huge. Terry gets spotted out. He didn't take the proper peek there. He's gonna take one and give away his life for that. So that's 1-for-1 trade here. That trade will be nice for CCG actually, which means Kraken will be able to pick up a weapon. He only has a Galil for the time being. So does Jenny. They're both gonna be able to get an AK for themselves out there. One from Fearless Beetle that he dropped, and one from Terry. But they are still not going towards that connector side. They're gonna go straight in B. Jenny's gonna be able to find one, and all of them are taking the entry again. All are checking the same corner. That's something that CCG has been constantly doing. But Trehan coming in from behind, that's gonna be a huge flank. He gets a kill. It's all down to Buba. As I was mentioning, CCG always, whenever they're taking an entry to the side, each member should check a different corner, but they tend to check the same corner. All three of their member were looking at the corner over there, but nobody checked behind the box. Nobody was checking the connector as well. So it could have been more disastrous if he was able to find a few more frags. But CCG, they're going to be able to get the C4 down, and they're going to be able to get that round. The question is, do they find this op or Booba? He fires the shot, and now the op cooldown will definitely get him off. Freehand immediately goes in, takes him out, and don't mind if I do, takes the op.
Again, scoreline tied up. No matter what situation it is, no matter what the Arsenal is looking like, it seems like the second half is just bound to go this way, where Yippeee wins the first, and then CCG follow it up with another to keep things close. But honestly, at this point, given how this second half has been going, any team who wins out two rifles round in a row are just going to conclude the game out in their favor, especially now that we're looking, we're staring down the end game actually at this point. But both the teams needing only three more rounds finalize their victory.
Yeah, it is an
CCG
eco
really
situation from CT though.
not exactly. They do have two players on pistols, but three of them still working with rifles across the board, and a good chunk of util online for them as well. So it's sort of a mixed purchase
Yeah, it's a situation. It's not an entire thing.
situation that they can absolutely make do with, but aren't they gonna be allowed to? Is the question. Booba falls, so that's gonna be one of the three rifles already taken away. Jacob, though, holding on to his. That's gonna be Fearless Beetle fallen. Terry, he might start to feel this pressure from Jenny all the way from the back, and he does. Goes down. Left with a pistol in his hand. Him and Jacob are all that remains. Both of them tagged down to just 23 HP, but they're still making this work. Lect gets another. He's found two frags with a 5-7. And now it's come down to a 1 versus 1. He picks up the op. The bomb has been dropped. He knows where Kraken is. Just needs to hold this down. Kraken walks into his crosshair. The shot unfortunately missed. The Molotov going to keep him off the bomb, and that cannot be planted. Lect only has to survive, and the round gets confirmed by Yippeee. A 1 versus 3 clutch coming in from Lect with a 5-7.
And with 7 HP, that is more important than the weapon, I believe. CCG, they just needed one bullet. I'm not sure what Treehan was doing there. He knew where the opponent was. He could get out his pistol, shoot one bullet, and that's gonna be over. But CCG, that's a very, very important round that they gave away there. That should have been definitely a win round. Like I said, they had an economical situation with two members buying a pistol, and one of those members actually pulled it off. CCG, despite having such a great round, they keep losing these gunfights. That is a problem there. Jacob and Keppen, both together, they're going to be able to shut down the rush from CCG this time. Triple found. Kraken and Treehand still alive, though. They're finding values. Picks up an AK from the ground. Will get one with the AK. It's a 1v2 situation right now. Kraken down to 22 HP. It's gonna be very hard for him to try and clutch this one out, as he does have the C4 drop down all the way at the end of the donut. So it's gonna be hard. Well, both of the opponents are looking at them. They're both very healthy with 100 HP and 100 armor available on them. Kevlar is fully intact. So Kraken with only an SMG in hand, it's gonna be tough for him. Not the end of the world. If he takes a fight on long range, it's gonna be even tougher. He did get an M4 somewhere behind. He was able to get one kill, drops the molly down. The nade will definitely give away the position, and he does have the perfect aim there to clutch it out. CCG and Kraken, they were able to bring it back, equalizing the scoreline 11-11 for both right now, as now we do have a tactical timeout being called from CCG for the first time ever, and this is needed now more than ever, because this might be the round that CCG needs desperately to secure themselves the match point, to secure themselves in the regulation, and leave Yippeee pressured out to fight for an overtime. And the game's no longer gonna stay in regulation. Like turning on hacks with no clip, but doesn't work.
Oh, Yippeee are going for force here. Sure, it's just pistol upgrades across the board, but it's gonna be something. If they lose this, they're gonna have no money to work with in the next round. It might just be SMGs across the board for them, and quite truthfully, that should be the case in theory at least.
Yeah,
Because CCG, they have rifles, not a single SMG, they have rifles across the board. The weaponry, it's drastically different, and CCG are ahead by a mile. Slow round so far. CCG, they have more players stacked outside the B side. But it seems like Yippeee might just be getting a tad bit aggressive to try and spot this out. They have a player tucked just outside ramp, inside ramp actually, out towards the B side, but not as static as I thought they might want to be.
no,
CCG, they're still taking their time. Oh no, not a good start. A player from Donut finds a frag. That's going to be Jenny going down already. Not what CCG were looking forward to. A weapon not going to be picked up though. And Kraken, as he makes his way out towards the B side, that's where the hit is going to be. Three players for the side of Yippeee to defend this site out, and the engagement against the charge is being led on the spearheaded by First Beetle. Unfortunately, Colin and all three of them actually end up going down, and the pistol round might just get converted out here. Lek has an MP9 in hand, 6 HP in the hands of Kraken to work with, and he cannot find anything. Oh, CCG, you're not supposed to lose that round out, and that's going to be map point secured with no money in the reserves for CCG to work with.
that's gotta be it. CCG, as I mentioned before, it's something that they really have to work on. I mean, they had a huge advantage that round with opponents only getting a pistol upgrades. That should have been the round where they should have wrapped things up. But CCG, they lose the gunfights. And when you lose the gunfights, there's nothing else you can do in CS2 that will work. No amount of utilities can make sufficient for that. This time it's gonna be a quick start to the round, and deaths are falling, bodies are getting buried everywhere. CCG down with only one right now, and he's gonna be cracking. He does find one. He needs to find two more. He's clutched it before 1v2. Same scenario, but this time he's going to be shut down by Lek. And that is going to be the round for Yippeee there and CCG. So close, but yet so far. They played good this time, but then again, having little issues that are bothering from them closing out the series. And those, some of them are just fine not winning these gunfights or checking the corners properly. I mean, when you enter a site, everybody's looking at one corner. That won't do the job for you. But CCG needs to work on these little things. If they can get those sorted, if they can get those comms up, then I feel like CCG does have a decent chance of closing things out in the future, as we're hopeful, as we're still seeing improvements from them.
Realistically speaking, I mean, CCG, it was a nice attempt. It was one of the closer games that we've had so far in terms of how the rounds are played out, in terms of the quite literal scoreline as well. That was a back and forth trade between both of these two teams, and a lot of eco rounds were won on either side, actually. Unfortunately, for CCG, Yippee's eco round victory came at such a time that there was absolutely no coming back from. It was still a nice attempt, and overall, the season's performance from the side of CCG has been better from what we had in the last season. They've kept games more close. Sure, the stats are not looking that good, but it's the round counts that have improved. It's how they play the round. It's how they
Yeah,
decide things. It's the mid rounding that has improved drastically. But unfortunately, it's still not enough for them to make it into playoffs. It's still not enough for them to close out games. This season might just end before playoffs hit for CCG, given how the stats are looking for them right now. But the season is absolutely not over. There are still two more games to be played before we come to a conclusion. That's going to be happening next week. Make sure you guys follow CCG socials to keep up to date when we are playing and when we're going live, so that you guys can tune in. Of course, likely they're going to be played Monday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST. But until next week, this is going to be it for us on the production team. We're going to sign off, and we'll see you guys on Monday.